Hi, everybody. Kevin Lonnquist, publisher of Sikkim Sports, and our NFL Baylor tour continues as the draft just finished this past weekend. And the latest and maybe the last of the unsigned free agents or undrafted free agents came into the fold Sunday afternoon as I'm going to go the quotation marks, retired center Sam Tecklenburg came out of retirement and signed or is about to sign an agreement with the Carolina Panthers. And Sam, first of all, congratulations to you on this. And what is this? First off, what does this mean to you to have an opportunity?
It means everything, the past few months I've been trying to navigate life and wasn't quite sure, what direction I wanted to head, but definitely feels good knowing that football's back in my future and just fired up to get back to work.
Yeah, let's talk about this because I remember the tweet that you had shortly after the Sugar Bowl against Georgia, where you had announced your retirement, that you had kind of reached an end. And I can remember talking about that on our site, saying sometimes you just know when it's time. And of course, we don't know all the ins and outs of your personal life and what you want to do and so forth. So, kind of take us through after you had made that announcement to where here we are talking about an opportunity to go to a camp in Charlotte or with the Panthers and your former head coach Matt Rule. How we kind of got from there to where you are today.
Yeah, once the season ended, first off, my dream's always been to play in the NFL. Like that's all I've ever wanted to do. Uh, but once the season was over, I just felt like I was at a point where I was so burnt out physically and mentally that I just wasn't, interested in doing it anymore. It's such a quick turnaround from, you know, I guess a player's last season in college to their first year in the NFL. I actually started training, doing like combine type training and stuff, like 2 days after the Sugar Bowl, and did that for a week. And I was just, it was, weighing heavy on my mind that, I don't want to be doing what I'm doing right now. So just kind of had to, evaluate what I wanted to do. And at that time, I just didn't have a genuine interest in pursuing it anymore and was ready to be done.
And then getting to this point, what led you back to the point of saying, maybe I gave up on this too fast, and I want to explore what potential options are out there. So, when did that time frame get started to where things picked up to where you were talking to the Panthers, and obviously with the chance to sign a free agent agreement with them, and with an invite to camp and that sort of thing?
Yeah. Even the day that I made the decision, I didn't feel great about it, to be honest. I never really did. Um, Felt like a huge part of me was missing. Um, but I knew the reasons why I made the decision, and they were coming from a genuine place. I did feel all those things, but, things change. Just over the past few months, as I gave my body time to heal up, gave my mind a couple months to kind of do something else with my life. The thought has been in my head nonstop of, I think part of me does really badly want to play football still. How, to what extent do I act on that feeling? I hadn't made that decision until this past weekend. So when Coach Rule called me once the draft was over, and I talked to him a couple of times over the past few months, and he said, if you change your mind, a couple months ago he said, if you change your mind, I'm gonna give you a call down the road. Um, I'll want to have you. And he called me like he said he would, and I really wasn't prepared to make a decision. So I told him I wasn't sure on Saturday, and then talked it over with my family Saturday night and all Sunday morning, and just arrived at that this was the best decision, was to, play football again. You don't get too many chances in your life to do something like this. And, I made the decision yesterday, and the past 24 hours have been awesome. I'm back to doing what I've done my whole life, and it just feels right.
Take us through these last 24 hours and what it's been like for you, what you've had to do since you hung up with Coach Rule and getting this agreement done, and then just after the aftermath of that.
Yeah. So like I said, talks with my family kind of continued through yesterday morning. And I'm not the type of person to, go back and forth on decisions. I felt like I made a decision and that, I should stick with that. Um, I want my word to mean something when I give it to people. And I eventually arrived at the conclusion, it's okay. Things change. I think everyone would understand where I'm coming from. I think I understand where I'm coming from. I know I do. So, in the afternoon, I called Coach Rule up, asked him if his offer from Saturday was still on the table. And he, did some things, had to talk to some people within the organization and called me back and said that they'd have me. And so after that, I had signed with the agent after the season, Scott Casterline and Matt Monero at Team Sports Agency. So once I decided to be done playing football, obviously I had to tell them that. And so we haven't spoke the past few months, but I called them up and, explained the situation, told them where I was at in my head, and asked if they'd still be willing to represent me. And they were fired up. They were all on board. So they've been helping me take care of a lot of this, the past 24 hours, and contracts on the way in the mail, hoping to sign that this evening if it gets here or tomorrow. And basically they've helped with a lot of that, and I've been able to start working out again yesterday and this morning. And I have been working out, but obviously to take it up a notch from what I was doing. So got back to work pretty hard so far.
The one of the things that I know that Matt Rule had said about you and this Panthers reunion with all the Bears, you and Braven going out there, but about how much he stressed culture, and you were one of the cornerstones of that culture and how it led to this program's turnaround. 1-11 in 2017, get into the Texas Bowl and the victory over Vanderbilt in 2018, and then of course the run all the way to the Sugar Bowl against Georgia. And my presumption here is that guys who understand what Matt is asking of his players. Now, even though you and Braven are much, much younger than a lot of the veterans that are circling through there, but perhaps modeling some of the behaviors, some of the things that Matt has instituted at Baylor that perhaps is going to rub off on guys in that locker room. Do you think that's partly what could be hoping? I mean, obviously you want to try and win a job. I'm not saying that, but at the same time, hopefully some of those things will be reflective of what Coach Rule is trying to get done in Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm sure he's going to have to change things up a little bit. I think with it being the NFL and just kind of a different group of guys. But yeah, I think me and Bravion kind of being that at Baylor. The biggest thing I think is that there's familiarity with me and a ton of the other, staff members. I think they know what they're going to get from me. And there's good history there. I think that's the biggest thing, in regards to what Coach Rule wants to do with the team. That's up to him, and I obviously have to, prove myself on my own football journey, and hopefully someday I can become a player. That people notice and that people look to be that example of culture. But it's different now because I'm the bottom man on the totem pole. So I gotta do my part to make sure I can stick around. And but yeah, I'm going to do the things that I know he expects, just because that's how I'm used to doing things now. And I think that'll help me personally. And then hopefully someday, down the road, I can become, a big enough player, big enough leader on the team where I can, be someone he can point to and say that's how we do things.
We've talked about this too, and I'm sure position really doesn't matter until you actually get out there and go through what the organization expects. But the fact that you've played throughout all three positions on the line throughout your high school career at Plano, and then obviously with Baylor, that kind of versatility, what do you think that means for you? However they're going to use you out there, that in order to prove your salt, that you can handle whatever situation that they put you in, rather than you just being. Yeah, I know that a lot of people look at you as a center, but you've obviously done everything else.
Yeah, I think it helps a ton. I mean, I don't know if what I've done in the past probably doesn't help me, but I just like in regards to like a reputation, but
Mhm.
I mean, just the things I've learned from playing all those different. I mean, I do feel confident I can play center. I feel confident I can play both guards. I feel confident I could play tight end as a 6'0" lineman on the field. Like, I played defensive tackle in high school. Like, that's what I played my whole life up until college. So if I'm a practice squad guy, I got to play on defense. Like, I feel confident I can do all those things. I mean, I've had a ton of experience at so many different positions. I think that's something I've always tried to be as a football player, is versatile. And hopefully it helps me as I'm, starting this new journey in the NFL.
I don't think anyone appreciates the speed of that next level of football until you actually get in the middle of it. And you obviously made the transition from high school to Division I college football with Baylor. Now it's going to probably be even that much higher at the NFL level. So, has there been anything that you've thought about, techniques that you've trained that you're going to start training for, as far as like at least try to become as adaptive as quickly as you can? Or is it just going to say, I'm just going to have to deal with it when it happens and when I get in the middle of it?
It's everywhere you go, people do things differently. So in regards to, scheme and technique, like I'm going to learn all that from square one, like any other rookie would. I think my job right now is just to get in the best shape, get as strong as I can, the best mover I can be. Um, so, those things, those qualities as an athlete help me become a better player, once I start learning, how they play.
For you, do you have any kind of schedule about? We were talking with Clay Johnston about this on Sunday night, but is there anything like virtual meetings that that are going to be taking place soon? Do you have some sort of calendar of events that are coming up for you guys?
Yeah, there's stuff coming up. I don't know the exact schedule or details yet. I think, a lot of it's just pending me signing my contract and getting back in, and I think we can go from there. They probably, can't go over that stuff with me yet until that's taken care of. So just hoping it gets here ASAP and I can get going here in the next couple of days.
Sounds good, Sam. It's a great opportunity. It's a great story too to have you come back. I mean, when it started, when your name flashed across social media that you were coming back, not only were we probably surprised, but we were glad to see that you were going to give it another shot. Obviously, as an undrafted free agent, the odds are going to be stacked. So, what do you think is going to be things that you're going to have to do to show that you can handle this level of football and that you can establish yourself and make your way in the world of the NFL?
Yeah, I think it starts, physically, obviously, I can do everything right off the field, but I got to be physically ready to go. I don't think I'm that far off. Past few months, I have been working part-time in the weight room at Baylor. So I have been lifting, still probably got a little bit to catch up there. I haven't been doing position drills, and I've talked to Coach Rule about that, but, starting that stuff back up, which I've done already the past couple of days, and running as well. But, I feel good. I've gotten out there and done a lot of work already just the past 24 hours, and I do feel good. Where areas I may be behind in that I've been better at before, whether it be conditioning or quickness or whatnot, I think those are areas I can get back quickly, and I'm going to put the work in. So that's first and foremost. And then just when I get in the building, just being the, best team guy I can be, I think learning everything and taking that side of it seriously. If I know what to do, if I know my job, I think that'll, provide me the best advantage to make the team and just work my tail off.
All right, Sam. Listen, again, thanks so much for doing this
Yep.
with us. Congratulations to you on this opportunity. We'll look forward to tracking your journey out to Carolina as the Baylor East reunion gets started out there, very much with you and Braven, and of course all the guys from Matt Rule staff that are out there. Congratulations, Sam. Thanks so much for doing this.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, that's Sam Tecklenburg. Sam Tecklenburg, the center for the Baylor Bears. undrafted free agent who is about to sign his agreement with the Carolina Panthers. We hope that you'll continue to join us on this series with other Baylor players who are about to start their NFL careers throughout the course of the upcoming days and weeks. I'm Kevin Lonnquist from Sikkim Sports. We'll talk to you next time.